Computer says it's 5:30. Mine says it was.
All right, I'm going to call the meeting to order. Just some.
It was an average month as far as hours down for vehicles and man hours lost, or however, the cost of repairs was a bit up. You have the equipment matrix to see what exactly was done. We do have two vehicles that are non-serviceable. Our new Case Wheeler 55 tractor is down for a contaminant fuel system. Currently at Mazers getting work done on it. And our gravel truck is down. It popped up two engine codes, won't let us start. It looks like it's some kind of injector power module problem. Hopefully it's just a wire connection and it'll be a cheap fix, but we won't know until we get to the shop tomorrow. Good news, our old hydrovac truck that went to Ritchie Brothers auction is sold.
Cool, what? Great
Sold
deal.
for $10,500. We're very lucky because with less than 4 minutes left, it was at $50. The two people decided they wanted it and they went in a bidding war, so lucky us. That is above our repair costs. We didn't make a lot of money, but we're rid of it. So I'm very happy. Couple contractors in town still. Creekco still owes us 4 town projects. They've been very, very busy out north pouring some concrete slabs for farmers. They will be in town later this week for Monday, he has promised. They still have to do the ribbon headstone at the cemetery, the sidewalk segment on the south side of the Mid-Agosa Inn, and 2 drainage swales. So hopefully the weather holds out and we can get those done this fall. The Fifth Avenue Southwest paving project is complete. The curb and asphalt is in. Public Works is still working on the boulevard remediation and a little bit of driveway remediation. That should be done shortly. Down in the campground, we got the 2 cook shacks that are being erected right now. They're about halfway done. Everything's looking good. I think we're good to stead for the contract we have going there. And last point on the Public Works, we have installed a new security system at the Public Works compound and building. So we have intrusion alarms, cameras, and motion detectors in place. Any questions on Public Works projects or whatever?
We just, got the garbage truck back again, how's that looking?
Running?
Until then, everything's okay, until it's not okay?
Yeah, it's running fine, but like it's done in the past, it'll just break down all of a sudden, there's no fair finger.
Any other questions? Councilor Mark?
Yeah, regarding the sympathetic to the person that spoke to the provincial rep, the compost pile and where that license is going.
It is, we haven't received the permit as of yet. But I sent out the link for the regulation for the waste facility, so that's what it's regulated from. So until we actually get the permit listing the conditions, we won't know exactly what is required.
Any other questions?
Brian, you're going to see that on the 6th or 5th, I mean, where they put the new dirt above the curb? You got it?
Yeah,
Are
that's
you
to
seeing it?
channel the water into the
Yeah.
curb because it was
Yeah.
in behind it.
You're going,
Until we pave, more south and get more curb in there, it's gonna stay there until.
you're gonna have to keep going in as it drops.
Yep.
Thank you.
Councilor Taylor?
But just one quick question, you give a presentation before, but the tree planting that was gonna be going on, can you elaborate any more on that, what you discussed?
The tree.
Well, you said there were some places that you're gonna be putting trees, or you're gonna be replacing trees and.
Yeah, so we don't have the money or resources this year based on the programs that are in place for the fall. We're gonna have to look at something for a spring planting, because if you haven't noticed, we've got TLS in town. Total Landscaping Services to take down some more of our problem trees,
Yeah.
and they're coming down more than we're putting them up. We definitely gotta get on board.
Okay,
Start planting some new trees, so we have a little bit of time to do some, planning. When we do our budget deliberations this fall, I'm going to be asking for a little bit of budget money, just in case we can't get any free programs, to get some of these trees in next spring.
Yeah, you were mentioning about on, the new housing development there too, the trees, so I just wondered about
You
that.
probably saw Hydro took down those,
Yeah,
Certainly did, yeah.
what was their reason?
well, we had that one windstorm and the one did fall on the distribution hydro line there. And their fear was the other ones are in the same condition as that one is, and it was only a matter of time before they also went down. So they were being proactive and they took them down in advance.
Good, thank you.
Any other questions?
Just on the repairs on the new to us hydrovac truck, are they expected or is it something that's kind of unexpected? It seems like a high dollar value. And there's been a lot of $4,000 repairs on it since we've gotten it.
Yep. It's a 2008, so it's not a new vehicle.
Yeah,
by any
that's-
stretch of the imagination. And it is a Freightliner, which is a very expensive brand to repair.
Yeah.
Although it is a good, reliable brand. It's just the parts that or the problems that we're running into. In this case, it was the AGR. It's a very, very expensive piece. It's over $6,000 just for the broken piece, so. It adds up unfortunately for that particular vehicle,
Quickly,
but it is running very well right now.
Is there any other questions?
Any insight on, water fund and one?
Yeah, we'll get utilities next.
You just want to move into utilities then?
If there's no more questions.
No more
about
questions about
public
public works?
works. Okay, utilities. August was a good month, no water breaks.
Yeah.
Although the first week of September, and we'll get to that next council meeting, had 3 in the first week. Anyway, we did, put in a new water and service line at, 232 4th Avenue Northwest. That was a vacant lot where the lot owner moved in a mobile home. So that's all good to go. And we did do our side of the curb stop. It was a good month for, kind of minor repairs at the water treatment plants, although the lift stations and the booster station kind of took a bit of a bust because we don't normally do much work on it. The Morris lift station was a little bit concerning because it was a electrical fire that, caused the damage there and shut down the lift station. When hydro and electrician dug up the line going in, they realized that the Cat 3 that was supposed to go all the way into the service box was spliced because it was too big to go in the conduit to enter the service box. So they spliced a smaller gauge electrical wire to it, and that's eventually over time, that's what caused the fire. Okay, down to water treatment plant number 1. Oh, a couple weeks ago, we had a burst fitting on a water pipe within the plant, which sprayed water on one of the control panels. That particular control panel houses what's called the Panel View 600, which ceased functioning, and we can't figure out why. Basically, the Panel View 600 is the programming unit for the SCADA system. So it's the one that tells all the cards and how to run the plant. That particular piece of equipment was installed in 1987. It's never been, it was replaced once, from what I understand, of the same piece of equipment. And computer equipment is like 10 years in advance of that. So we're talking a very old piece of equipment. So trying to source a new one to replace it, can't find one. And that's all over North America. What we have found though, is a place down in the States that has a refurbished model. We just found that this morning. They are sending me up the invoice, see how much it's gonna cost, but likely that's the way we're gonna go. To upgrade, which is the other choice and the more expensive choice, because any upgraded piece of equipment is more expensive and would require a lot more programming. Just put this in context, the upgrade is the Panel View 7000 compared to the 600. So there's how many different panel views in between that, the technology is considerably different. And the programming would be a nightmare to get that thing up and running. So hopefully this refurbished one is going to work out. I don't have any reservations that the piece itself is going to be in any way deficient or whatever. It comes with a 1-year warranty, which is pretty good for a piece of electronic equipment. So not concerned about getting a refurbished one. We did get the municipal sewer maintenance team in here to do our annual sewer cleaning. That all went off without a hitch. Good to go. And we're into the winter, or winterization of infrastructure, water and sewer in the cabin area and campground. Once that's complete, we're on schedule to do our fall flushing program as part of our preventive maintenance plan. So the notices will be going out shortly if they haven't already. That's good news. That's all I got for utilities.
Any questions? Councilor Taylor?
Just a question, Brian, about the lift station on 9th. How is that? Have we got any more update on?
Yeah, so
when that-
they've got the curb on 9th Court now, so we know the exact height of where the road is. We're exactly 3 feet lower than what we should be. So to get a sleeve, a 3-foot sleeve, which is a standard size. We'll just lift the top off, put the sleeve in, and re-pour a pad on top of it once we backfill all the grade to get our lift station up to the grade that we need it at. It's actually not as bad as I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, so the pumps will be ready to be installed and everything will be,
Yeah, likely we're going to do that in the spring though.
Just because you need the water.
Well, I'm not confident we're gonna get that riser in time.
Right, okay.
So they did, the company in Winnipeg does have the measurements, they gotta make it. They didn't have one in stock.
Paving? Like, this fall or?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's gonna be this fall.
Are there any other questions? Councilor Landry?
On the panel view in the water treatment plant, have we just reached out to the original control electric vendor or have we reached out to somebody else?
Celtic as well. They came in and had a look at it.
Celtic,
Celtic,
Centec?
Celtic Control.
Yeah, never heard of them.
They're the ones that, program water treatment to.
Selco.
But they go by South Kick or something.
So not the guys that do the other water plant?
No, this is the other guys.
So this,
So
I know,
they're working in conjunction right now, because they're the only two that even do what we're talking about. Celtic Control is what they call themselves.
Any other questions? Are you finished now or,
Oh,
pardon me,
general points.
general plans?
Spillway. Last month, we received the new stop logs from the province. We have all we need to do normal operations. And the lake level this year, we didn't run into much of a problem because of the amount of precipitation we received, so good. Campground fall maintenance, after closing is supposed to be finished. We've done a bunch of tree trimming and cutting, site maintenance, drainage upgrades, road maintenance. One thing that's concerning, however, in final inspection of the electrical on the sites, we replaced 4 electrical services due to overload fires. That's in addition to the 2 that we had during the camping season. So that's total of 6 fires from overload this year. 3 were 15 amp and 1 was 30 amp this last go round.
The 30 amp.
That's 230 amps this year.
Wow.
Spray park, construction of the spray park and the landscaping, is complete. The park has been commissioned and handed over to the town. I'm going to bring up at the fall budget deliberations, the complementary projects that I'd like to see go along with it and see if we can get some buy-in. It's everything from, parking lot, signage, paths, some fencing, picnic tables, garbage receptacles, all that good stuff that goes with operating the spray park. MREC, paving is complete. We'll get the line painting and painting of the parking stalls next year on next year's budget. The gravel road in the parking lot on the west side is complete. Public Works is still doing a little bit of prettying up along the edges there. We got some concrete barriers and whatnot. We're gonna go up in the parking lot. The ice is in. We got it in and finished on Saturday. Yesterday was the first time that the public was on the ice for any type of skating, and it looks like we're gonna be good this year. Ishki Gardens. Well, a little bit of background and kind of way ahead on Ishki Gardens. So last year was identified that, after the volunteer group kind of stepped away of upkeep of it, was identified that we needed to make it more maintenance friendly. So last year, some of the plants in the Nishi Gardens were switched out for lower maintenance plants. This was done with the help of volunteers, and the rest of the garden features were revitalized and in some cases changed in order to, so they did require less maintenance. Like adding some geotextile to the lazy river so that, weeds don't grow in that. So basically what all that means, other than the annual work that the town does in Nishi Garden, that's to start up and shut down of the sprinkler system and just some tree trimming on top of what's been done. There's only a few tasks that the town really needs to do in order to maintain the upkeep of Nishi Gardens at the state that it currently is in. So basically what needs to happen, barring any volunteer work during the season, a little bit of grass cutting and trimming, some sweeping and blowing of the falling leaves in the fall, and potentially some weeding. Really, all this will entail is the majority will be done by Green Team, 1, maybe 2 hours a week, 1, maybe 2 people. That's it. Minimum maintenance required on the part of the town. Doesn't mean that we don't respond to things like a broken board on the fence or the latch on the gate doesn't work. I mean, the one ounce, that's no big deal. Really, in my opinion, Nishi Gardens is not a big task for the town to take on. My last point, Ninth Avenue development. Curb and gutter is in, if you haven't seen it. Triways has handed the job of getting the road ready to Maple Leaf. So the final preparation of the road is ongoing right now. They're at the two entranceways, so the majority is already done. They anticipate paving Thursday, Friday, or Monday to start paving. Fine.
Yeah,
It looks good though.
It does,
Yep.
yeah. And that's all I have.
Are there any questions of Brian regarding the last component? No questions? All right, then can I get a mover and a seconder to set precedent? Councillor Dowsett, moved by, Councillor Landry, seconded.
Be it resolved that the presentation by Operations Manager Brian Jensen be received.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Thank you, Brian.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Much appreciated.
Enjoy the rest of your meeting, Brian, folks.
that's right.
Thanks very much.
We now move into the public hearings. Can I get a motion, Councillor Landry, seconded by Councillor Dowsett?
Be it resolved that the regular meeting be recessed to allow council to hold a public hearing to receive representations for any person who wishes to make them in respect of the following. Variation order 02 MAB 24 to reduce the required side yard from 2.5 feet to 0.5 feet in the RS residential single zone to construct a deck. Time 5:53.
Any discussion?
So we're doing two hearings separately, or?
There is a second resolution.
Oh, there is, oh.
I believe so, yes.
So this is just a public hearing and then you actually have the resolution. to do.
No, I mean, there are two
Oh.
public hearings, one
Yes.
for the
Yes.
deck and one for.
Yes,
Yeah. Right.
The first one being the deck.
yes.
Yeah.
Any discussion?
I'm just wondering, there's nobody here that, you oppose it?
The
Any-
deck's on the back lane.
No, so these.
east side of the house?
We should finish the resolution.
Yeah,
So any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. I'm gonna turn it over to Adam to give his.
Brief notice, application for variation order number 02 MAB 24 was submitted on August 12th, 2024. Proposal was to reduce the required side yard setback from the current 2.5 feet to 0.5 feet for the construction of a new exterior residential deck. Notice of public hearing was distributed in accordance with section 169 of the Planning Act, set the applicant and all surrounding property owners within 100 meters of the affected property, a minimum of 14 days prior to the public hearing.
Does anybody have any questions with that, Councilor Taylor first?
There was no objection.
I did not receive any objections. No, I received one in favor. I told her that I would let everyone know. Diane Creever of 315 4th Avenue Southwest. Voice that she, is in favor of it. But no
Thank you.
objection. Just
Thank you.
keep people to question.
I guess, is that the neighbor that's right beside you?
Yeah.
No, she's 300 feet away, I think. A neighbor right beside me is Bill Euchre. I talked to him before I made my application. He doesn't have a problem with it. At least that's what he told me, and I guess if he did, he would have said something, so. And probably, even though I asked for just a half a foot, it's probably gonna be close to 10 inches I'm gonna be away from property line. It's just whatever the composite boards work out, and it looks like 77 inches is gonna be it, so that should make me 10 inches from property line.
Yeah.
And it's on the east side of the house.
Yeah, no, I understand, yeah.
Is there any other questions?
How far is it from the laneway?
50 feet,
Alright,
because it's actually south of the garage. If you know where my house is,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
the back door is, it's right by that east side door, so.
Is there anything else that you would like to add at this time?
I don't think so.
Nobody else has any other questions? Maybe we can move on to the second one then, correct?
You'll have another resolution.
Yes.
The next one too.
Okay. All right, could I get a mover and a second, please? Councilor Dowson, Councilor Taylor, second.
Whereas all representatives in regards to matters listed below have been dealt with, variation order 02 MAV 24 to reduce the required side yard from 2.5 feet to 0.5 feet. Therefore, be it resolved that the public hearing be concluded and the public hearing for conditional use order 02 MAC 24 to allow the development of a triplex in the CC zone commercial central be opened.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried? Speak on that, please.
Application for conditional use 02 MAC 24 was submitted on August 28, 2024. Proposal is to allow for the development of a multi-unit residential dwelling in the commercial central zone. Notice of hearing was distributed in accordance with 169 of the Planning Act. Sent to the applicant and all surrounding property owners within 100 meters of the affected property, a minimum of 14 days prior to the hearing.
Any questions for Frank?
There was no objection.
No objections.
Anybody else have any questions about it? Is there anything that you would like to add to this?
Well, Adam and I talked about, it might, like we could go up to, what is it, 5, right up to the property line, right?
Yeah, so the setback requirements in the commercial central zone are quite, well, in some cases non-existent. In that zone, you can go 0 feet from the front and 0 feet from, the sides if the situation is right anyway. But currently, as with the, I imagine you've all seen the proposed site plan, and it is set back quite adequately off all sides. So it's, yeah, there's no concerns with setback requirements, no variations required in it with that.
The thing that we talked about is because we have to build it up to the under your flood level. It might be too steep, but you figured it would be okay. But if it isn't, we have room to go further back, to be further away from the east side of the property. We've got another, what, 5 feet we can go, something like that.
Yeah, Oh, I don't have it on me, but yeah, there's definitely some wiggle room there. I mean, there's multiple different ways you can go at it, you know, like the sixplex to the north. The slope of the driveways is noticeable, but it's not unreasonable. That's an option if that's possible. If not, you know, the option of putting up a small retaining wall to flatten out the yard that is there exists. So yeah, there's options there in order to build that lot up to what you need to build it up to.
Councilor Andrew, you have a question?
Yeah, just wanted to double check, the driveways are gonna be off of the same existing, laneway behind the church, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Anybody else have any questions? Councilor Taylor?
What, Adam, was there a certain height requirement that we have to build that up to because of the flood zone?
There is a height above sea level, it's referenced, I actually found it in, referenced in Ken Sixplex proposal from quite a number of years ago when I can't remember off the top of my head what it was, just it was 1,600 and some feet above sea level, but, I believe that's what me and Ken discussed is that he's planning on building it up to the
Oh, yeah.
same height as
Yeah,
that one.
yeah.
You're happy about that, weren't you?
Yeah.
So,
Well,
You
the
wanted
person
to
that was
begin.
there already got the basement full of water and I'm gonna build it up.
Any other, questions? Anything else you want to add to this?
No,
Any other, we're all good, we're all our discussion? All right, so then, last section, we'll have, pass the resolution to close. Move by Councilor Dowsett, second by Councilor Blaze.
Whereas all representatives in regards to matters listed below have been dealt with, conditional use order 02 MAC 24 to allow for the development of a triplex in the CC Commercial Central Zone. Therefore, be it resolved that the public hearing be concluded and council resume its regular meeting. Time 6:01.
Further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. You are welcome to stay if you so wish. The resolution will be voted on later on in the meeting. Or you can leave and then I'm sure senior admin would let you know what the outcome is. It's your choice, but thank you very much for your attendance.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thank you much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Adam.
Yep.
Thank you, Adam.
You got it.
See you in the morning.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll call you.
Okay. We're on to correspondence. Can I get a mover and a seconder, please? Councilor Dowsett, second by Councilor Marks.
Be it resolved that the following correspondence be received. Our CMP stats.
Do we have any, questions? Councilor Taylor?
Just the one question was about some loud noises and some speed going here. Has there been any more conversation with our city?
Did speak, yes, when he delivered these stats and voiced the concerns, that he was going to have more patrols in the area.
Yeah.
So,
Any other discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Moving on to old business. The Disaster Management Conference, can I get a mover and a second? Mover Councilor Dowsett, second by Councilor Landry.
Whereas council has passed resolution 2024-268 approving Kathy Tomlinson, representative from Emergency Social Services to attend. And whereas Ms. Tomlinson was unable to attend, therefore be it resolved that Ingrid Kura be approved to attend the Manitoba Disaster Management Conference.
Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Complex building, I get a mover and a seconder. Councilor Marks, Councilor Blaze.
Whereas council during their 2024 budget approved funds allocated from the building reserve to be used to upgrade and provide maintenance, exterior painting and improvements, bathroom renovations, and curling club infrastructure upgrades. And whereas the Minnedosa Golf and Country Club has submitted an invoice for the purchase of a commercial dishwasher in the amount of $10,782.25, which was outside the scope of the original budget submission. Therefore, be it resolved that council approve the expenditure of $10,782.25 to come from the allocated $50,000 building reserve funds be approved.
Discussion? Counselor Blaze?
Okay, so, again, this is coming from their building reserve fund.
No.
No,
Sorry.
This is coming
Yeah.
from
This-
our building reserve. fund.
yes,
Okay, so we approved 50,000 earlier in the year,
yes,
and now they're asking for an additional 10,000 for a new dishwasher in the golf course curling club complex.
this would be included in that 50,000, but that wasn't part of their initial.
Okay, so they're still gonna stay within their 50,000.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay, so in other words, instead of what they had asked for, which was 50,000 to begin with, they only really needed the 40 plus the 10 for the dishwasher.
no, they had requested painting, which I have invoices for.
Yeah.
That's about 15,000. And then, there's supposed to be bathroom renovations completed and the curling club infrastructure, they needed a new, thank you.
I'm sorry,
A geothermal pump,
that was last year, wasn't it?
that's this year.
That's this
In
year?
this budget, yes, so this, submission of an invoice for $10,000 for this commercial dishwasher was outside what council had approved. So I'm bringing it to council because I'm not authorized to.
So we're still staying within the original 50,000.
They would have to stay within that original 50,000, yes. So whether one of those other projects doesn't happen,
Okay,
Or they fundraise.
yes.
okay, I guess why I question the dishwasher is because of the problems that we're having at at our hall with the dishes and where we probably need a dishwasher more in that building as opposed to this building, but I see that we haven't, nobody's taken that on or taken that or championed that cause anyway, so. This being said, okay, that's fine, just wondering.
Just having run into Colton outside a couple times, he was talking to me about it, and it sounds like if this dishwasher doesn't get approved, the kitchen can't run.
Yes,
It's shut down.
Yeah, it's shut down, so
The province will come in and
it
shut
has
down.
to
right?
reach a
So-
temperature.
It's mandatory.
yeah.
Counselor Taylor, you had a question?
Well, I was just
Oh, okay.
commenting on that.
No, it still comes within the original 50 anyways.
What's that?
So
It's still coming within the original 50,000 anyways.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get one at a time, please. Counselor Mark?
Okay, so it's already purchased, they're just hoping that
Yes,
they
they
can
put the,
reassign what we budgeted.
yes, they put down their deposit to get it ordered and yes, and I have the receipt to or the invoice to pay the difference and pay them back.
So is there any further discussion?
And what are they paid at their complex board for rent? That's $16,000 or $18,000 a year,
That's right, Robert?
about that.
There is, yeah,
Just now originally, they had a bunch of money in the reserve fund, but separately pulled it all into one building fund, correct?
the complex had money, yes.
Well,
Not the curling club,
We
not,
had a reserve
not
for
the
that.
golf club, yeah,
Yeah.
the building itself, so
Right.
it's all in one now, so there's nothing limiting.
How much money is in that? Yeah, okay, so this is coming out of town budget. This
Out of
is-
reserve, yes,
Yes.
Yeah.
As opposed to it's not coming out of the complex board.
not coming out of the golf course revenue,
There's a there's a complex board, there's a golf course, and there's a curling club.
right?
So
And
the
from my
complex board is, correct me if I'm wrong, it's a separate entity within itself, which takes care of the curling club and the golf course, which is the equipment and the things. But there is money in that account that sounds like we're gonna use ratepayers money as opposed to complex board money. Just trying to figure it out in my head, I'm not saying I'm against it, I'm just,
And from my understanding, the kitchen is used in the winter as well?
yes,
Yes.
yes, by both, yes.
You're right.
Yeah, so it's not just the golf course
No,
purchase, it's like the building purchase, so it's just not what council approved first time, so I'm bringing it back for approval.
again, but it's upkeep on that complex,
Yes,
which the complex has their own.
But
budget and their own reserve funds, and yet.
The reserve fund is now under, yes.
Sorry.
The reserve fund is plentiful, it's in my general governance folder, not this one.
Their reserve.
They're all in one now, all buildings are in one, and it's. there's-
Okay, yes,
Yes.
okay, sorry, yeah.
Is there any other discussion? So all those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Just trying to make sure I understood everything. Takes me a while.
So we're moving on to, new business. And I get a mover and a second, mover by Counselor Dowsett, seconded by Counselor Blaze.
Whereas Jim Dowsett had made an application for a variation order 02 MAB 24 to reduce the required side yard from 2.5 feet, 2.5 feet in the RS residential single zone to construct a deck. And whereas a public hearing was held on this day to hear any representation for or against the application, therefore be it resolved that variation order 02 MAB 24 be approved.
Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. And I get a mover and a seconder, Counselor Dowsett, Counselor Marks.
Whereas Ken Kane and Jean Burton had made an application for a conditional use order 02 MAC 24 to allow for the development of a triplex in the commercial central CC zone. And whereas a public hearing was held on this day to hear any representation for or against the application, therefore be it resolved that conditional use order 02 MAC 24 be approved.
Discussion? Counselor Marks.
So what actually are we going over on the zoning bylaw?
This particular request is permitted as a conditional use. So there's no like amendment to the zoning bylaw or anything, it is a permitted use if it's approved as a conditional use.
Okay.
That- What you were reading, sorry?
I've got no issues with
Okay.
it going there. I mean, I think it's a great idea that there's more density downtown. But I'm just wondering what the actual, so that particular zoned area, the issue is putting one there is not intended within, in the bylaw?
Right, it's permitted only as a conditional use, where if it was always permitted, then
Oh, we wouldn't have
Build-
this. Okay,
yes.
fair enough. Yeah.
yeah.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. On to 10.3, and I have a mover and a seconder. Moved by Counselor Landry, made a seconder, Counselor Dowsett.
Whereas council had defeated a resolution for the CAO to attend a conference outside of Manitoba, therefore be it resolved that all employee professional development be held within the province of Manitoba.
Discussion, Counselor Dowsett.
I'm not certain where this came from. I do realize that we had said no to this year's, but we're now going to eliminate any time in the future by doing this, or am I not correct?
It was raised as an item that needs to be discussed, needs to put on the agenda.
Counselor Blaze.
I know I'm certain I probably said part of that package where, you know, maybe if it was held in the province of Manitoba, we should attend. I never had thought that we were going to pass a resolution, so it's a never ever
Yeah.
type thing. And I think that's what this sort of states to me is this is a never ever. I'm not saying never ever, I'm just saying not at this time, I guess at the time. So I'm just kind of wondering, this is for our CAO to go to a conference outside of the province. Like if we have something in Saskatchewan, I'm certainly not opposed to something like that. I just wonder if we should not be bringing it up on a case by case basis as opposed to a blanket thing for, and I'm speaking for both of them that are coming up, this one and the next one that's coming up also. I'm just thinking that it should be maybe a case by case basis and not a blanket thing for, you know, or if it is, maybe there's a time limit on it or that type of stuff, so that, you know, that we're better off prepared for it, or there's circumstances that provide it so that we should be able to attend, that type of stuff. But this seems like this is an absolute sort of thing, and I'm not certain I wanna do that part of it,
Counselor Taylor?
I'm certainly in agreement with that. I certainly don't think that we should be tying our hands of a certain situation that might be pertinent to our town and our community by not allowing yourself or Stacy or a council member to go to a certain place for certain criteria. I don't want this. I didn't realize that this was even going to be brought up again. I thought that was a one-off, and that's what it was. I'm certainly not in favor of that, because I do think that if, you know, it's important for you or Stacy or whoever wants to go to these, if it's pertinent information that we need to have for our community, I think we need to have some representative there. Like maybe flying to, where was it? Down east to Quebec might have been expensive, but I still would have been in favor of you. I just
think
don't
it
think
was-
that there's something that should be done.
I think it was put on just for more further discussion. I did see guidance whether it should be put on the agenda, and that's why it's on the agenda.
Okay.
And previous resolutions came on the agenda out of speak that something should be on the agenda, so.
So I'm glad it's on so that we have the discussion then,
Oh,
yes.
absolutely.
Yeah,
I just
Counselor,
yeah.
Counselor Marks, you had your hand up?
Yeah, no, it just seems like it covers everybody and anywhere except the province, and yeah, no, it's just no reason.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Defeated. We'll move on to 10.4. Can I get a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by Counselor Dowsett, second by Counselor Taylor.
Whereas council had defeated a resolution sending a member of council to a conference outside of Manitoba, therefore be it resolved that all council professional development be held within the province of Manitoba.
Discussion, Counselor Dowsett.
Again, I repeat what I said beforehand. I did not expect this.
Any other discussion?
I'm just gonna reiterate what I said too. I just think it's not a good thing.
Any other discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Defeated? Move on to 10.5. Can I get a mover and a seconder, please? Counselor Dowsett. Can I get a seconder, please? Counselor Taylor.
Whereas the Minnedosa Collegiate would be hosting high school soccer provincials from October 11th to 12th, 2024. And whereas Minnedosa Collegiate would be holding a come and go team luncheon on Friday, October 11th at the Sunrise Credit Union Center, Upper Concourse area. And whereas the Collegiate is requesting council to waive the rental charges for same. Therefore, be it resolved that the request from Minnedosa Collegiate to waive the rental fee of $400 for the high school soccer provincial luncheon to be located at the Sunrise Credit Union Center Upper Concourse area be approved.
Discussion, Counselor Landry.
How are we sitting with our grants to organizations and how much have we given away and all the rentals and stuff like that so far?
Dollar wise, we have about $1,800 left,
15, so.
15.
Yeah.
The council has given away quite a few rentals.
For,
Counselor Burke.
this is for the, come and go, I guess, upstairs. Are they going to do what provincial baseball did also, which is run a canteen out from the bottom also, or? Do we know
I
that?
don't think that's been.
No,
They are
we're
not
not running
interested,
the canteen, no,
they're not interested in that, eh?
no.
Okay,
So a total waiver of rentals this year thus far has been $5,740. And yeah, so they also had that request from last meeting.
That was my question.
Yes, so there's also that as well. for the monetary request, but that went around. I did not actually receive this just sent to me. This was sent out by the chamber as a blanket all request. The request that was sent to me personally was the request for the waiver of the upper concourse for the luncheon.
I thought it was an either or.
Yeah, I thought, yeah, we were gonna do,
Right, that's what you discussed at the
Yeah,
last meeting, it's
okay.
just
Yeah, we
more
wanted more
context for
information.
it,
Yeah,
yes,
information.
yes.
Okay, Counselor Blaze?
So there is no monetary, value that we're not doing that part of it, we're just doing the,
Waiving the rental.
yeah,
the rental, thank you, Frank.
Yes,
Waiving the rental for the upstairs. Does that also include the fact that, there will be no access to the rest of the arena, or is the arena open on that weekend also anyways?
the arena is open,
Okay.
yes.
Just wondering about that part of
Counselor
it.
Taylor?
But, and the canteen will be available.
Canteen, I guess, would be open anyways, I forgot about the fact that
It will
the
not.
arena was gonna be open.
They can't, they're not specifying it just for the high school.
Right.
And just so there's some more background, soccer did actually request the pavilion usage for their luncheon, but we have a wedding booked that weekend. So that was off the table, we were trying to find some other place to host it.
It's perfect.
Any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried?
One more question, so the monetary donation that they wanted is zero? Like,
Right,
okay,
the
so,
council at the
Yeah.
previous meetings was one or the other, so
Yeah.
we wanted to see what this
because Grant
request
had made a
came.
motion that we do that because we already give money to minor golf, that was. Excuse me, thank you.
We'll move on to 2.6. Gonna get a mover and a seconder, please. Moved by Counselor Marks, seconded by Counselor Landry.
Whereas the town had purchased a teepee to be erected on town property, and whereas the town shall be erecting the teepee at the Minnedosa Recreation Event Center with the assistance from Cree Star Gifts, along with the CDC Tourism Truth and Reconciliation Day events being held on September 28, 2024. Therefore, be it resolved that council approve the location of the teepee at the Minnedosa Recreation Event Center entrance near the flags. Sorry. I wrote it down.
Discussion? Counselor Blaze?
I realize that we're doing this on September the 28th, we're about 4 days away from that type of an event so far, but the question was posed to us, a week ago in regards to what we thought we might be interested in for a location for it. I'm not denying that the MREC Center is a very good location for it, but it gives us very little room for discussion on if there is another option for a different location, and such as Frank, I think, mentioned Tanner's, crossing down at the thing there. And I had mentioned the one of in the Heritage Village and stuff like that, which are both, or all three of them are all very good locations. But we have a September 28th deadline here looking at it, and it seems as though our hands are tied, and we can't even table this sort of thing to open it for discussion. We're looking at, it's either this or we're not doing it right now. It just seems as though, this is our only location then, so I guess I'm kind of wondering about the fact that we're, I know that the Heritage, Village Committee, would be very interested in having this, brought up on their property also. But, we only have 4 days.
Danielle has a comment.
So it was originally planned, when we discussed it in the spring, for it to go at the MREC site.
Yeah.
So, yes, now that it's actually here and we're deciding to put it up, because we've held it off for quite a while, of putting it up to get a right time to do it. And I just wanted something passed by council. That is the location that it's going, so that there's record of that.
I'm not, sorry.
Counselor.
okay, so I got two questions. How long do we expect to have it up for? And the other question is, are there any corresponding events on the weekend, given that it's a long weekend or just this, that we want to be in association with that.
So the TP will be going up, the poles will stay up, the wooden poles will stay up all year round. The dressing of the TP, the canvas, will come down in the winter and be put back up in the spring. We were educated on that by Indigenous consultants. And that is respectful to take it down in the winter. And CDC Tourism has planned a day of events for Truth and Reconciliation. So at 1 o'clock after the TP is put up, Freestar Gifts has requested that there is no ceremony or anything going on while it's being erected, because he needs our direct attention on how it's being put up, how you would have to take it down if you did, how to get the dressing on and off. So he doesn't want anything else going on. And then after it's set up, then there'll be Truth and Reconciliation events starting at that location, and then they carry on to Squirrel Hills.
I just have a question. Are you saying with this that with the resolution as it stands right now, it may change to a different location if council so decides tonight? Or is it
Yes.
stated at MREX? But so this resolution, just so that we can have a discussion, because there was an email going out, right? about
Yes,
Different locations of the possibility, but, so we could change the resolution tonight to go
Yeah.
to a different location if council so decides.
yes, I just need to let Freestar Gifts know where they need to be on site on Saturday.
Councilor Taylor?
I'm sorry about what I interpreted into that email. I didn't realize, Danielle, that the structure had to stay up all
Yes.
year round. So, like, because if there's a flood in the springtime or something happens, yeah, I didn't realize that wasn't what. I didn't realize that was taking place, so. Thank you on that. I didn't know. So that's why I thought it'd be good that it was up and then down, and the community
Yes.
was gonna be busy downtown and we're spending money downtown. That was my only logic. And if you look at the old pictures of the, where the teepees and that were set up, it was, you know, years and years and years ago. That's where they were, just a little around the corner there. So that's, I just thought it would be a nice little gesture there. But I didn't realize that in the stay out. So thank you.
So I guess if that's the case, we're worried about this permanent structure then, to a certain degree. We're now down to 2 locations, whether it be the MREC site or whether it be Heritage Village, correct?
Correct.
Councilor Marks, sorry.
Does this location determine where events happen prior to going to Squirrel Hills?
Yes,
I'm sorry, can you repeat that, Robert?
Huh?
Can you repeat that?
Oh,
please?
where it gets erected, does it determine where events happen prior to everything else going on at Squirrel Hills?
Events or which?
one after the ceremony there, everybody heads to Squirrel Hills. So
Okay.
just, yeah, depends. I don't think it would hinder anything.
Oh,
No matter-
whether it be Emmerich or whether it be.
Right.
For Heritage Village, is there
Right.
anything going on in Heritage Village?
Pardon me?
Is there anything going on for the weekend in the Heritage Village?
There's nothing going on in Heritage Village. This weekend, the following weekend, I was going to announce that October 12th, there is something, but
Okay. I guess we would need to, if we're gonna move it off from the Minnedosa MREC site to Heritage Village, then
we don't get much time here.
And you can't move it without talking to the board. So
Yeah,
it's a non-point.
it's a non,
It has to be at Emirates because you can't go to the board. There's the village,
It's to replace it.
right?
I sort of had mentioned it to them that there was an opportunity for it.
Right.
But there was still the chance that, well, let's see where we can put it. There's, you know.
Yeah. Councilor Lander?
So if we do decide to have it at MREC, later on, it could be decided to be moved to another location, correct?
yes,
They were mobile.
yes.
For some time.
It's good.
Yeah, okay. So it could be 1 year, that type of stuff. We're the ones that are doing it, taking up and putting down again anyway, so this is now, something else that becomes,
Yes. That's the,
See, that-
there's gonna be a few of us on site to learn how to put up and take down.
I always see the irony.
Is there any other discussion? Okay, you're all, are all ready to vote?
Yeah.
Okay, all those in favor? Opposed? You're opposed? That's still carried. Financial matters? Can I get a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by Councilor Landry, seconded by Councilor Marks.
Be it resolved that the July twenty twenty-four budget to actual for the town of Minnedosa be approved as presented.
And August?
July first, and then August.
Yes, July and August, you know, correct.
The July and August twenty twenty-four budget to actual for the town of Minnedosa be approved as presented.
Discussion? Councilor Blake?
Well, I'm now, seeing that in the budget here that we have exceeded, I think at the very end here, we look at it. Oh, no, that's not where I'm looking for here. But we've exceeded our yearly. We're overspent. As we are so far, or am I misreading this? I'm looking for it here. Sorry,
Still have the percentage left.
yeah. No, okay. Okay, no. No, strike this here for just the time being. Sorry, I'd have to come back to it anyways.
Councilor Johnson?
808.05. Should we move that till the end of October? It states the end of September, but that's
Yes.
not when we're,
No, they're due at the
So-
end of October.
can we have that switched then?
Yeah, we'll change the wording.
And then 9535. Is an estimate of the cost? Or is there any estimate yet?
The large repair
Yes.
has been completed. The large one that we received a quote for, we are not doing in this budget.
Okay, so what you had, or whoever had tested said that it was
We
large.
have quote and
That-
everything,
that's okay.
yes, and we're
Thank you.
not. It'll go to the next
Because
budget.
it wasn't clear and,
Yeah.
thank you.
Any further questions? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. On to 11.2.1, general operating, a mover and a seconder, please. Councilor Dowsett. Councilor Blaze.
Be it resolved that the general accounts for the month of July and August twenty twenty-four in the amount of $511,902.65 and $949,719.77, including the check numbers 4527 to 4719 and July and August payroll be approved.
Discussion. Councilor Blaze.
We wrote a check to Plain Steel for $18,000 again for the month of August. Is that still follow up from the MREC site yet still?
Yes, that was the
Do we
final,
still owe more? That was the final?
final holdback.
Okay, but yet still, we have some outstanding work yet, warranty work or just work outstanding.
Yes,
And I'm going to a list here that's been provided, sound system insulation around the beams, vent not working in the mechanical room. Cement floor, garage door not working, drywall repairs. Those types of things, are those, is that all warranty work? Or is that just work that is supposed to be still yet to be completed?
it'll be under warranty.
Have they completed all their work?
Some of them have been completed off the list you read, yes.
Yeah.
And we had a final follow-up warranty meeting 2 weeks ago with their and their project manager, and there is a list of items finalized.
I guess I just wonder why we pay something before all the work is completed, I guess.
We are required to pay it by legislation by a certain time.
Okay, I'm just checking, I know I've been told that before though.
But you're absolutely right.
But, yeah, I
It makes
I look at it as,
Yeah.
as being wrong, you know?
Any other discussion?
Again, under general operating, from Four Seasons, what did we buy other than probably another lawnmower? $4,600.
That would have been the replacement costs for the items that were stolen for a second time from the cemetery. That's.
time?
Yes.
Yeah, that's cemetery again, eh?
Like, there's an insurance claim on that,
Okay,
yes,
First time we didn't, second time we did.
but they were allowed us to put it all under one.
Well, they did.
Yes,
Okay,
which is good.
so that, when did that? It's-
We're still in the works with it,
Okay.
sending them documents.
Cause you had stated beforehand that. So, thank you.
Any other discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. And a mover and a seconder? Counselor Taylor, and Counselor Landry.
Be it resolved that the utility accounts for the month of July and August twenty twenty-four in the amount of $179,885.26 and $601,018. Too many sixes, including the check numbers 1417 to 1490 and July and August utility payroll be approved.
Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. There is no resolution.
No,
So I just ask for any questions, does anybody have, okay, does anyone have any questions regarding the, town accounts?
in regards to, Parks Board, it shows that we have a balance at the end of August of $864,000. Is that,
Good, yes. No,
You already spent it. You already spent it.
no, we haven't. No, well, that's when we're spending some as we go on different things. I'm just wondering have we spent any of that yet? Like as for instance, the cook tax, I'm sure haven't been paid for yet. What has come out of there so far yet, if anything at all?
The, fire pits
That's all that's come out so far.
and for the boys,
Pardon
boys,
me? Boys. Some boys? We got some young boys?
boys.
the floaters?
Yeah, okay.
Is there any other questions?
Bob,
Counselor Marks?
I brought this up in general government, but I'm bringing it up again because I want your opinion on it. And it was regarding, so, looking at the Parks Board account, the campground made 4,100 after expenses.
How much?
For 5 weeks, August, September, but they lost 20,000 for July. And the reason being, and the is the sales tax payments of 29,694 or almost 9,500, July 9th and July 29th respectively. So these were for payments for non-reporting of GST since 2021.
Okay, so
So
your point,
So we forgot, so somehow we forgot to submit GST collected for the last 3 years on the campground.
I believe that was brought up at once before and we had an explanation.
So, but and then I went and looked back and then, so apparently in February of this year is when we resolved the change from that, Stacy and Lindsay would have authority of the CRA account, taking it away from Chris Ewan.
That's what,
Yeah.
that was what was back from 3 years.
regardless, the penalties for this delay, amounted to close to, what did you say, 7,000?
Yeah. Okay,
Well, as a small business owner, what would you think about missing?
well, there's different months can generate different types of things, and expenses can be, you can be paying expenses for something that has already come and gone, you know, where you've ordered the product, you've sold the product, and you've had a great month, but you haven't paid for the product, and you have to pay for the product later on. There, conflicting stories can come out of, a bunch of numbers when you look at something like that. Like it depends on what you're buying and selling and the product you're moving, so. I would think, in this case here, there's probably some differences, within the campground bookings and things like that as to when we get our money and when we have to pay our money as to opposed to when our expenses and stuff like that come.
Any other discussion?
Just a question then, like, why wouldn't our auditors? Yeah. Like, I mean, that's absurd.
For 3 months, for 3 years, I mean, you mean?
Yeah, no, like it would be.
That's absurd. because, like, I mean,
GST on
Yeah,
600,000.
I mean, that is their job to say
Yeah.
what, you know.
When you bring it up that way, yes, you're right. Why isn't
I
that
mean-
been caught before? I can't answer that.
Like, I just, that's completely absurd of that our auditor wouldn't pick that up because, I mean, we got a clean record on, I mean, there was a few little things that we had to adjust to do, but I mean, if they don't pick that up, it's a, like you say, there's so many things going on in that.
Oh,
it's easy to
absolutely, yeah.
Okay, is there any other questions? We don't have a resolution, so we'll move on.
Is that it for question one?
I believe so, yes, unless you have a question.
No, just a question, Daniel, like, I mean, are we putting tenders already in for our campground again? Like you mentioned that we are putting, you want to put tenders out?
Over the manager.
Yes.
It'll be out, mid to late October. The scope of the responsibilities will be changing, so.
Okay, and also you mentioned that we are looking at, you recommended we go back to a different kind of a booking system. So that it's a lot less complicated and a lot less,
I think the
so much
booking,
shit we have to take.
the booking system is fine. In the Let's Camp, yes, it's how administration had to deal with all of that. That could be put back onto the campground manager for them to open the site, for them to, upload some new pictures of the sites. Make sure the information's correct.
More information.
Upload the seasonals and
Yes,
I'm sorry?
upload the seasonals.
do all the behind the
Yeah,
scenes work
because
to
like
get it ready.
seasonals that are there now are, there's signals that are put in there that shouldn't be where they are. That were done as favors through the campground manager. So, anyway,
They're not in the right lots.
well, it's, yeah, I just, nothing. We got some letters, information on that.
Any further discussion about Parks Committee?
So these letters are, he speaks of, we have those, and those are at tomorrow's meeting.
I have received complaints, yes, about campground, sites and
Favoritisms.
et cetera, yes.
Okay. Unaware of that. Right? Tomorrow's meeting work.
It was, you know, one of our correspondence letters that we got a while ago.
There was one, yes, we received more once the season closed. We
Okay,
received
you got
a couple
more.
of
Good,
complaints,
thank
yeah.
you, thank you.
Any further discussion? All right, we're gonna move on to, reports. Ken's not here, council report, so I won't put myself first. I'll let go of Councilor Dowsett. You have a report there?
Yes, and thank you.
I've read.
That's right. Yeah.
Councilor Blaze?
I attended, September the 18th, their village meeting. Financial report from them, was the last year, we were down $7,100. This year, we're to the good $3,100, so a change over of 10.2 in the difference, so it was a good year for that. Thank you went out to, The person that painted the office, scraped and painted, the building in Heritage, which is the office. And it has a name for it, I can't remember what it is, but that, goes to Tom Dowsett for doing that. There is, talk of appreciation for some of the volunteers that are not on the board. And to, do some, gift cards or a barbecue, and we decided to do a barbecue for volunteers. On October the 12th at, oh, I believe it's 1 o'clock, I can't remember, I'll have to.
No, it's 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock, thank you, Tom.
That's Thanksgiving weekend?
Pardon me?
That's Thanksgiving weekend.
Is it? Okay, it's on a Friday though.
October the 4th.
Oh, fourth, you said, well,
I did say October the 12th.
It's October the 4th.
It's on October the 4th.
okay. I'm away.
And actually, it should be also Tony with the painting. And we were gonna
Okay,
start
he
a
was also
painting
involved in
company.
it with the,
TNT.
yes. He was the one that brought it up, and he was, he didn't, take any of the credit because it was for the staff.
Sorry.
Sorry for that. There is also a member going to be attending the tourism meeting on October the 3rd, Thursday at 5:30 in the upstairs of the Sunrise Credit Union Center. And the other one was the location of the TV.
Okay, is there any questions on Councilor Gray? Anybody else have a, Councilor Taylor?
I just want to report that Evergreen, we got government approval to start putting waste into our
You still?
new cell.
Well, if you're gonna say
The what? The gas fire?
Yes.
We've had a number of discussions, we've had people looking at it. There's some situations that are being looked at, the igniter is, one of
We're
the.
gonna be able to sell it?
No.
Couldn't get enough to recover the cost.
Yeah, so, we will be putting, we're gonna be starting putting, the new cell is done and the government. So that's a great bonus for us.
Anything else? Any questions of Councilor Taylor? Councilor Mark, you raise your hand up.
Friday, the Yellowhead Employment Skills Coordinator resigned with no notice. And at this point, we are, well, Ron Carr is to meet with the provincial representative tomorrow, and we'll probably be meeting and looking for answers next week. But at this point, the coordinator and the assistant, the assistant resigned 2 weeks ago, and the coordinator resigned on Friday. So the door is closed.
Really?
Yeah, it's really. They are currently, there's a sign on the front door to go to Meatwalk. And we have the insurance service.
So the government funding that we get out of that, what's gonna take place on
Yes. Basically, where we go to solicit a new employee and then get it started.
Okay.
The funding is there.
So, yeah, it's still there, that's what I'm saying.
Just don't have an employee.
That's, you have anything else?
That's it.
Okay, any questions of Councilor Roberts?
Where is Service Canada going to meet then? And have you made arrangements to do that?
I was under the impression they were already meeting in the library and had been doing so for at least a month.
No other questions, Councilor Nante?
Just the ESS group had a meeting earlier last week and Councilor Dowsett attended on our behalf, so thank you very much for attending that. And the vet board is meeting tomorrow.
Any questions, Councilor Nante? Okay, my report is posted, just to answer some of the questions, we did have a meeting when Victor came out and we met with Crane Steel about warranty work. Now, my understanding from Victor is that we have to wait till the end, and then they'll come out, because they won't do warranty work until right near the end of the warranty period. So there was a number of areas that are still have to be dealt with, and Devin was there and didn't seem to have any questions about doing any of it, and we'll be moving forward. The major items, the front steps have already been done, so they've been brought up to code. The sleeves in the cement that were crooked have been done. and as you heard, the ice is in, so those are two of the major ones. The rest of it, I outlined some, and there were some more in there, but, all of that will be going forward, and we'll be keeping an eye on that, to make sure that they are done, but Devin didn't think there's gonna be any problems, he had ideas for it all, so. Yes,
Just a question, Grant, like, any more discussion on the roof? Like, when you walk, like, I mean, that was one of the things that was going to be discussed and was going to be looked at. Because you walk in there and it doesn't matter when there's a kid's bouncing the ball, it's that thing, and it's just that stuff everywhere.
the, air quality
And that
test
was
was.
supposed to be looked at.
And it was, but it wasn't part of the contract. And the air quality came back that there's no issues. So it would have to be an item that would be budgeted for and we would have to pay for, which was, that was the end result. So we can certainly move forward with it, but I think Victor had a quote of $38,000, I believe.
Yeah, almost 40 grand.
Yeah, to do that, but that's certainly something that could be looked at, in the new fiscal year, I would imagine.
But if we pay-
Such a mess.
The other part was I attended Minnedo's Active Living, the, changes to the drawings have been updated and the committee is working on the financial plan and they'll be contacting Gord to review his financial plan is pretty much done and then they'll be looking at the fundraise, but they want to get the financial plan in place first so people know what they're getting. Then I attended the, Your Town Rising. They did a walkabout about the core area and then they did an evening presentation up at the Sunrise Credit Union Center. It wasn't well attended. There was a few business people there. They came up with some ideas that, the CDC will be discussing. They're low cost ideas that CDC may or may not take on to attract people to the core area. It is about the third group that we've had in the last while, and it's kind of all the same theme. So, there'll be more discussions, I guess, coming forward with that, and they're going to be sending out their presentation. They just haven't done it yet. So once we get it, I will give that out to everybody.
I just have one, sorry.
Confidential.
In the library, they ran you down, did they get you in? But they were a little surprised that the daughter and grandchildren were there. Any explanation on that to her?
No, I don't think the grandkids were there, not on our tour for sure.
I
So the
don't
grandkids were
know.
on part of the core part for sure.
Okay.
And the daughter, joined in, whether partway through, was not at the start of it. for sure.
Right. No, and it's good that you guys run the library and,
Yeah, it was,
yes,
they were very impressed with the town. One of the comments is that Minnedosa has so many amenities. It's one of the very few towns that they go to, which has all
4 seasons.
4 seasons and very active 4 seasons, and we just need to look at, and not just 4 seasons, but there's so many things that are happening in Minnedosa, and they're quite impressed with that.
Getting back to the MREC again, sorry, Grant, the question I was going to, the funding that we got from that family, $120,000 that was going to be allocated to inside, like there's gonna have little sticks and pucks area for kids and there was quite a bit of money that was left. Has there been anything done with that or is there?
No.
And so.
What money are we talking about, Brian?
leftover from the last part.
No, this was one, no, this is a different donation. This-
That was
There wasn't
for
any
Oh,
that gate.
yeah.
Yeah, these people give money, like when
Our grilling.
Good, thank you. And they set a certain amount aside for the MREC Center and they were gonna, it was well over 120,000, I think.
Yes, but that wasn't all allocated to, our council did pass a resolution to spend some money, that TV was part of it.
Oh, okay, good. Well, I just wondered because, like, they want to have that little sticks and pucks area.
Yes, and Jason and I had that
Something else too
conversation.
they were gonna do in the ring.
They were going to get the nets and paddles and such for pickleball and badminton.
yes, yeah.
Yes.
But that was for, yeah, so nothing's been done about it.
No.
Okay, any other questions? Any questions for you? Any questions for Danielle?
What's shaking the hydrant at midnight,
Would you-
Midnight Avenue?
Yes.
Our development,
Yes,
how is hydro coming?
oh, it's going.
What are we
I
at?
signed the drawings off. They should be,
But there hasn't been anyone yet there, so.
no, I think they were there a couple weeks ago. As he said, as soon as the paperwork's done, we get the bill and the work is done. I haven't got the bill yet.
Could we kind of have maybe a update, you wouldn't mind, because that's been a question. And also, second part of the question is, how the heck do we get on? I know people that are watching the council meeting know already how to get onto it. But I've had people ask me, how do you watch the council meeting?
Yes, I need moments to download and upload onto the website.
I'm sorry.
I need time.
Oh, but how, once you get it there,
Yes.
how did
Oh,
they
they just
see?
click on the link. Once I provide the link,
Okay, so it just hasn't been set up, and that's why people aren't finding it.
yes.
Okay, so I don't have to explain a whole bunch of technology, I'm just saying, wait.
Yes,
Okay.
there's a page set up for videos. Unfortunately, the previous system we used, they expired. So then you were getting errors. So I've erased them all and yes. It's
So,
just been-
It's just a matter of when it's set up, it hasn't been set up, and that's why they haven't.
I have the recordings, I just need to.
Yeah, no, because you're getting asked these questions and, again, you know, I have a telephone on my wall. So I have no answers, so now I do. Thank you very much.
Okay,
As far as I'm concerned, don't hurry.
But you're looking good, Mark. People like.
so we'll move on. We've already had the operations manager's report and the equipment report, et cetera. So we'll now move on to the in-camera portion. I need a mover and a seconder, please. Need a Councilor Joseph, second Councilor Landry.
Be it resolved that this regular meeting now adjourns to an in-camera meeting to discuss matters in the preliminary stages as per subsection 152(3)(b)(3) of the Municipal Act, and all matters discussed in camera are confidential until discussed in an open meeting as per section 83(1)(d) of the Municipal Act. Time 6:57.
Discussion? All those in favor? Right, Robert, you guys in favor? We are. Okay. Oh, sorry. Is there other?
The conference file, or do you want to explain the rest of the council?
Oh, yes, there's new permitting requirements with the compost site. So there is some concern over how the town's gonna handle that. One requirement is that it has to be manned, like there needs to be a worker on site at all times that it's open.
Irish senior.
You still have to pay them,
Oh,
Yes.
no, that's me. I'm thinking,
Yes,
I'll set
and
up.
that,
not somebody down.
so there could be gates put up, or whether the town just wants to use it for town composting. Whether we are gonna open it up or you have to man it, so that's a problem.
We have to.
You have to man it like the landfill or transfer station, it has to be manned. So there is, yes, these are regulations.
Like
Province wide?
Cause I asked about that.
Yes.
Councilor Dawson has a question.
What are we gonna do about ski,
Squirrel Hill?
Squirrel Hill? Because
And that's gonna
the-
be a discussion, yeah.
we had said at first, when it was brought to council, that we were going to be responsible for that road. And they went ahead and made it the main access.
Yes,
So that went against council, what we had talked about and what we had voted for, and there's no repercussion.
there
Like
could
that,
be
this is,
concerns going
it's gonna
forward.
be, yes, it's gonna be a very serious problem.
So we don't actually have the permit as of yet. So this was a phone call to advise that this is coming.
Yes, but it's
So-
still Squirrel Hill.
Yes. Yeah, so we need to be prepared and we don't know when the actual approval and the permit comes through. We don't know.
Councilor Marcus.
Do we know what the other, who the other 8, cause there are 8 apparently compost sites within the province that operate. Do we know who they are?
No,
Or very.
Well, there's lots of compost sites.
but they will get,
That's why because I asked about that at our last Evergreen meeting, and there was no question, they had no knowledge of it. And like, we tried shutting those gates years ago, and all people did is drive out there Saturdays, on Sundays, that's the busiest day, they dumped it right in front of the gate, you that's for example, because they used to come out Monday morning and push it all into the pile.
or people have more garbage bags at their homes now, because they're putting it all in the garbage instead
That's
of.
exactly right.
So I had brought up general governance, why doesn't Evergreen compost? One question, and I don't know, are there other single compost sites? I can put the question out there.
Well, that's, because reading the background or PDF, and then there isn't anything in the legislation that says it has
No,
to be
I've read
amended.
it
No,
through many a time trying to
No, there's-
find, there's nothing.
So it's all bureaucratic that where it has to be where these motions are coming from. So it's, I don't know whether we wanna write a letter to MLA.
Should we wait till we get our
I think
actual,
I think that's way, Grant.
the actual paperwork in place?
I think because, is that Caitlin?
Well, the thing is my question is does the paperwork then force us to?
I'm just not sure verbal is
Yes, I think we actually need to see the documentation.
exactly what it outlines.
Who's the minister in charge of that?
Environmental climate, and
Would that be something we could be asking for, meeting with him at the AMM?
Because
we should have our permit by then, so yes, if, I haven't received any notification that there's gonna be meetings with ministers at this AMM.
There always is.
because
Does seem as though there always is, but there may or may not be this time, yeah.
Yeah, it depends on, it usually is, because their business meeting is this one, so,
Right,
Yeah, 'cause I got a couple of others also.
yes, you do.
when this compost site, they used to have it down by the golf course. Like people would just drive down there and,
Yeah.
you know, so I mean, but then because it was the flooding and stuff like that, they couldn't get it, so they put it someplace else too after that.
They had 3 of them.
Yeah, and then so, so they went out there and we got a letter saying how absolutely fabulous this is because it's basically we're recycling product that we can reuse.
Right.
So this was an absolutely above the ground, great thing.
It's the old, up by the town shop.
Yes,
Right, we're
yes,
together with-
exactly, yeah, and so anyway, all this stuff was, like, I mean, it makes no sense, because they had tried shutting that down when Dump was doing that, and all people did is just go and dump the bags and right in front of the gate, and you go out there Monday morning, and it was, because Saturday, Sundays are the biggest weekends, you know, for people doing composting. And this is a benefit to everything in compost, that's what we're told to do, you know?
Yes.
I don't think there's any question that we're not happy.
Everybody's in agreement with what
I
you're
know,
saying.
but all of a
So
sudden.
just how do we fight it? That's the,
We have to have facts before we do anything.
yeah, and I guess we get a meeting with them and say, here, then that'd be great.
This guy that's writing this up is the guy that pouring DEF into the diesel tractor.
Oh my God, I never heard that.
All right, is there anything else?
This is-
Any other? Okay, I'm gonna move on to item 17 then. We already had a motion, correct, by Tom, seconded by
I thought it was
Mark Landry.
Now therefore be resolved that the meeting be adjourned at 7:26 PM and to meet again on October 8th, 2024.
Discussion, all in favor? Opposed? Carried. Have a great evening.
Well, thank you for getting through this, Grant. I thought